shots from the floor. Gamecocks really had trouble slowing her down. The Sooners will be the visitors on the scoreboard since they are the lower seed, wearing their road crimson uniforms with the white numbers, white trim. They'll be moving from right to left as we look at them from across South Carolina's bench. Yeah, we are on the floor here in Sacramento. Appreciate that. Right across from the South Carolina bench. Kind of near the corner, but still a decent perspective. Now let's get the lineup for Coach Don Staley's Gamecocks, coming in at 33-13. Of course, SEC champs during the regular season at 15-1, and it's the usual suspects at point guard, number 25, Raven Johnson. 5'8", fifth-year senior from Atlanta out of Westlake High School, where she was a McDonald's High School All-American, earned third-team All-American, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and second-team All-SEC honors this year, averaging 10 points, 3.9 rebounds, sixth in the SEC with 5.3 assists per contest. Another guard, number 00, Jennie Latson, 5'8" senior from Miami. In her first year with the Gamecocks after transferring from Florida State, former McDonald's High School All-American, earned honorable mention All-American for the fourth time in her career this year, as well as second-team All-SEC honors, 14.3 points, 2.8 rebounds, 3.6 assists per contest. Third guard in the lineup, number 5, is Tessa Johnson, 6'1" junior from Albertville, Minnesota, out of St. Michael Albertville High School, where she's a McDonald's High School All-American, earned second-team All-SEC honors this year, 12.9 points, 3.5 rebounds per contest. Out of forward, number 8, it's Joyce Edwards, 6'3" sophomore from Camden, South Carolina, out of Camden High School, where she's a McDonald's High School All-American, earned second-team All-American honors this year, as well as first-team All-SEC honors for the second straight year. Fourth in the SEC in scoring with 19.9 points per game, 6.4 rebounds as well. And in the middle, number 11, Medina Okot, 6'6" senior from Kenya in her first season with the Gamecocks after 1 year at Mississippi State. Earned second-team All-SEC honors this year. 13.5 points, led the SEC in rebounding during the regular season with 10.9 points per contest, was fifth in block shots. Gamecocks in their traditional home white uniforms. The garnet numbers trimmed in black, garnet and black trim down the side of the uniform, and they will be moving from left to right, again, as we are right across from their bench here at the Golden One Center in Sacramento. Officials for today's game are Brenda Pantoa, Tierra Cruz, and Roy Golbian. Crowd continues to file in here. I want to remind you that parents, it's never too late or too early to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, because if you're not talking to them, someone else is. Get conversation starters at openconversationsc.com. Moments away from the start of this contest, Sweet 16. The winner is on to the Elite Eight to take on the winner of the late game tonight, the last game of the day in the Sweet 16 round between the number 3 seed TCU and the number 10 seed Virginia. Oklahoma has won 4 out of 6 meetings against the Gamecocks, including that overtime victory against Carolina in Norman back on January 22nd, 94-82, where they out-rebounded the Gamecocks by 15. See if the Gamecocks can do a better job under the boards here today, but it's going to be a lot of work to do with Reagan Beers down there, one of the top rebounders in the SEC. Gamecocks break their huddle first across the way. Medina Okot will advance to the jump circle. It'll be Reagan Beers once they break their huddle, assuming, for Oklahoma. Just waiting for TV to give us permission to play here. Again, the winner is on to the Elite Eight. Top 10 showdown here in the Sweet 16. Crowd getting excited here, and pretty good crowd. Nice arena here, home of the Sacramento Kings. And a lot of folks have made it from the eastern portion of the U.S. coming all the way out here. Again, Gamecocks moving left to right as Okot takes to the jump circle, just waiting for TV to give us permission to get this thing going. Gamecocks trying to get back to the Elite Eight for the 12th. This is their 12th straight Sweet 16. And lead official to the jump circle. Let's light this candle. We're ready for basketball. Ball is in. Well, the official just can't seem to get the ball set. Now she's ready. Ball's in the air. Tip is controlled by the Gamecocks, moving left to right. We're underway in the Sweet 16. Here we go. Man-to-man defense for Oklahoma. Raven passes right to Tessa. On the dribble to her left. Bounce pass to Jennie Latson at the top of the circle. Jennie looking inside. Gets a screen from Okot. Comes around it to her right. Tries to drive. Puts it off the window for two. And the Gamecocks are on the board first. Jennie Latson will start the scoring. Here comes Oklahoma quickly down the floor, trying to prevent the Gamecocks from getting set up. Beers, top of the circle. Guarded by Okot in the man-to-man. On a backdoor cut to Verhulst. And she misses the layup. Rebound, Big Mama. Medina Okot Almost threw it away, but the Gamecocks pick it up. Nice backdoor cut by Verhulst, but she missed the layup. Gamecocks have it leading 2-0. Okot hands it off right side to Latson. Scored on the first Gamecocks possession. Now Tessa Johnson, top of the circle, gets a screen from Joyce. Can't do much with it. Comes around to her left on the dribble. Finds Joyce, middle of the lane. Pull-up jumper from 6 feet. Missed it short. Rebound Reagan Beers. That was well off the mark by Joyce Edwards. Here come the Sooners the other way. Driving in the lane is Chavez. Pulls up. Missed it short. Rebound Big Mama again. And the Gamecocks have it, still leading 2-0. Quickly ahead, Raven Johnson. Raven hands it off to Tania Latson. She'll spot up for three, right wing. Bang! Got it. Three-pointer, Tania Latson. Just her 23rd of the year, and the Gamecocks lead 5-0. Latson only 29% from that range, but she had an open look. And the Gamecocks with the early 5-0 lead. Here comes Beers the other way. Feeds it right side. Driving in the lane is Van. Van knifes it to Williams near corner. Baseline jumper. Rolls out no good. That went halfway down and popped out. Gamecocks get the rebound, leading 5-0. Minute and a half gone by. Feed it to Joyce on the low block right side. Fumbles. She's down to her knees. It's going to be tied up. Held ball. Possession will go back to Oklahoma. And Joyce a little banged up here. All right, now she's laughing about it, so she's okay. She kind of rolled over on her side and got us all worried, but she's all right. So a turnover there. Tough start for Joyce. Missed her first shot and then got it tied up there. But hopefully she'll bounce back quickly. 5-0 Gamecocks. Oklahoma with the basketball. Chavez across the timeline. Gamecocks stay in their man-to-man. Looking for a backdoor cutter. They feed it near side to Verhulst. Pulls up from the baseline. Left it short. Rebound Raven Johnson. She wants to run. Raven, it's 1-on-3. Raven 1-on-3. Has the ball knocked out of her hands. It'll go out of bounds into the baseline or remain with Carolina. Was tried to get ahead of the defenders. Couldn't quite do it. Good defense there by Oklahoma to prevent the fast break. Gamecocks will bring it in baseline left side. Raven to do the honors. Got to hurry to avoid the 5 count. Gets it into Joyce. Joyce bounce pass back to Raven. Reverse layup is good, and the Gamecocks lead 7-0. Raven kind of delayed coming off the inbound pass and did a little hook. 2 minutes gone by. Here come the Sooners. They're looking for the pick and roll. Williams right side into the lane, working against Joyce. Spins to her right, shoots it up, no good. Rebound, Joyce Edwards, and the Gamecocks have it. She'll get it back to Raven. 7-0 Gamecocks. 7:40 to play in the opening quarter. Here's Raven across the timeline. Passes right to Latson. Latson on the dribble, trying to create. Up top, Medina Okot. Medina, left side to Raven. Shot clock down to 13. Raven on the dribble. Right side to Nia Latson. Puts it on the floor. Steps back into another long one. Off the mark, no good. A whistle and a foul on Oklahoma. First foul for either team, and I believe that's going to be on Sahara Williams. They'll go to their bench as well. Brooklyn Stewart checks in, the 6'3 freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado, averaging nearly 7 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. Williams picked up the foul. It sends Tania Latson to the free throw line, the senior from Miami. We'll get a sub in. Miriam Dowda will check in for the first time since Beers went out. Dowda, the senior from Bentonville, Arkansas, picks up Okot. Miriam averaging just under 3 points, 3 rebounds per game. Here's Latson at the stripe. First one is good. Got every bit of iron and fell through the hole. 7:22 to play in the opening quarter. 6 points already for Latson. Makes it 7 as she hits the second free throw. Remember, she was fouled on a three-pointer. So she'll get 3 cracks at it. She's hit the first 2. 77% free throw shooter on the year. And she hits all 3. And the Gamecocks lead 10-0. On 3 free throws from Tania Latson. Quickly down the floor is Van. Drives in the lane and lays it up and in. As we didn't stop the dribble, and the Sooners are on the board with 7:14 to play in the first quarter. We kind of fell asleep defensively there and allowed them to get a good look at the basket. 10-2 Gamecocks, 3 minutes into the first quarter. Here's Latson right side. Feeds it to Raven. Raven with 15 to shoot it. Trying to create, trying to back her way down. Needs some help. Loops it up and in. How did she get that one to go? And the Gamecocks lead back up to 10. Raven Johnson with 4 points. Here comes Chavez the other way. Pull-up jumper from 16 is good. Don't want her to heat up, and it's 12-4. That's twice the Sooners have gotten a good shot at the basket early in the shot clock. Gamecocks got to line up defensively a lot quicker. Here's Latson up top, directing the offense to Tessa Johnson. Johnson guarded by Chavez. Gets a screen, comes around it the other way, drives into the lane, needs some help, and then lost the handle. Sooners come out of there with it on the turnover. They want to run. In transition is Brooklyn Stewart. She misses the layup. Ball lost out of bounds. Oh, they thought it was off of. No, all right, now they switched it. Yep. It'll be Carolina ball. I thought for sure that was off a Sooner, and it was. It'll be Carolina ball, leading 12-4 here. after an early 10-0 run to start. We want to get a sub in. Medina Okot will check back in. As Reagan Beers checked in back in for Oklahoma, she'll pick up Merriam. So it seems like we're going to rest Medina whenever they rest Reagan. Carolina ball leading by 8. Raven will bring it up. Man-to-man defense. Van will pick her up as she crosses the March Madness logo. Dribbling to her left. Back up top to Nia Latson. Latson passes right to Tessa. Tessa guarded by Chavez. Looking inside. Had Okot open. Now we get it to her. Working against Beers. Trying to back her way in. A lot of contact. They're not blowing the whistle, however. Shot up, no good. Was partially blocked. Gets her on rebound, does Okot. Needs some help. Gets it back up top to Joyce Edwards. Good defense there by Reagan Beers, although there was a lot of contact that first time, and they didn't blow the whistle. There's 8 seconds on the shot clock for Raven. Driving into the lane. Needs some help. Spins, shoots, and doesn't score. Kissed it off the front of the rim. Rebound to Reagan Beers. Missed opportunity there. 12-4 Gamecocks. Oklahoma with the basketball. Quickly down the floor is Zaya Van. Guarded by Tessa. Drives the baseline. Zips it near corner, and Raven knocks it out of bounds. Good play there by Raven stepping into the passing lane. Otherwise, it was going to be a good look at a three here in the corner. We'll get Agat McKeer in for the first time. The freshman from Thunder Bay, Ontario, picks up Tessa Johnson. McKeer with back-to-back 15-point games in the first 2 rounds, coming off the bench. Chavez will bring it in baseline left side, gets it into Beers, back to Chavez in the corner, pulls up for 3, back rimmed it no good. McKeer with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. The freshman wants to run. Bounce pass to Joyce Edwards, cutting across the baseline, puts it off the window, no good. Rebound caroms out to Raven Johnson, finds McKeer left side for 3, off the rim, no good, and over the backboard. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Oklahoma ball. Gamecocks screaming for a foul. Not going to get one. Beers getting the Michael Jordan treatment down there. 5:14 to play in the quarter. It's 12-4 Carolina. Oklahoma with the basketball. Been a lot of contact, but they're letting them play. Coach Staley still working one of the officials, but to no avail. Up top it comes to Stewart. Guarded by Joyce Edwards in the man-to-man. Bounce pass to the right, ball knocked free, stolen away by Raven Johnson. Raven leading a 3-on-3. Raven into the lane, kicks it back out to McKeer. Couldn't get a shot in the lane. McKeer has the ball knocked out of her hands, but kisses off the feet of Zaya Van. That'll remain with the Gamecocks when we come back. 4:53 to play in the first quarter. South Carolina leading Oklahoma here in the Sweet 16, 12-4. What does farm to table mean to you, Gamecock fans? Well, thanks to South Carolina Farm Distance. Leah Chavez, Zaya Van with 2 points apiece for the Sooners. See if the Gamecocks can get back to the way they started here on that early run. Have not been able to get much inside, as the Sooners have done a good job of taking away the inside game. Gamecocks, a bit of a scoring drought over the last 2 minutes, have missed their last 4 shots after a hot start. Let's hope they can get it back going. Hey parents, it's never too late or too early to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, because if you're not talking to them, someone else is. Get conversation starters at openconversationsc.com. On the floor for the Gamecocks, Agat McKeer, Tania Latson, Raven Johnson, Joyce Edwards, and Medina Okot. It'll be Carolina ball as play resumes. We'll bring it in underneath our basket, baseline right side. Raven Johnson to take it. Just a little past midway of the first quarter. Raven looking, gets it up top to Big Mama Medina Okot. Medina back to Raven, top of the circle. Raven playing traffic cop, trying to get everyone set. Shot clock to 15. Latson left side, comes around the screen on the dribble. Feeds it to Medina on the baseline. She's bumped, no foul call. Hands it off to Raven. Raven will drive the baseline, cut off with 5 to shoot it. Zips it right side, Joyce Edwards. Drives the lane right side, off the window, too strong. Okot with the rebound underneath. Spins, tries to go up, and they're going to get her for a travel. And that's one where Big Mama just has to go straight up with it. Got a little nervous with the 2 defenders on her and shuffled the feet. Just go straight up. Eventually you'll get a whistle. 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Oklahoma basketball. Gamecocks lead is 8. There's Lofton near side. Keziah Lofton, who had checked in, whistle away from the ball and going to get an offensive foul on a screen on Oklahoma. I believe it was Reagan Beers. Would love to get her in foul trouble. 4:20 to play in the opening quarter. Gamecocks still lead 12-4. Gamecocks haven't scored in about 2.5 minutes. Got to get something going here. Raven across the timeline. Passes right to Nia Latson. Doesn't pull the trigger on the 3. Tries to drive instead. Got tied up by Reagan Beers, who knocked her to the floor and took the ball away. They're just letting them play. Across the timeline, Peyton Verhulst spots up for 3. In and out, no good. Beers flies in for the rebound, and she will stick it back in for her first points. And Carolina's lead is cut 12-6. Got to box out the big girl. It's Easier to say than do. Here's Medina Okada up top. She's going to try a three. Bang! Got it! Big Mama with her 13th three-pointer of the year, and the Gamecocks lead 15-6. Medina Okada, they left her open, and she buried it. 9-point lead for the Gamecocks. 3:38 to play in the first. Here's Beers right side. She scored a moment ago. Picks up the dribble. Guarded by Okada. Back up top it comes. Shot clock at 13. Bounce pass to Verhulst. Halfway down the lane. Trying to work in against Tanai Latson. Fade away from 14. Missed it short. Rebound Big Mama, and the Gamecocks have it. She'll get it off to Raven. 3:20 to play in the quarter. 15-6 Gamecocks. Far corner it comes to Latson. To Joyce Edwards, and we threw it away, and Oklahoma comes out of there with it on a gimme of a turnover. Here comes Chavez the other way. Pulls up straight away for three and buries it. Nobody stopped the dribble, and it's a wide open look, and just like that, the lead is trimmed 15-9. Chavez, with her first three-pointer, gives her 5 points. Her 81st three-pointer of the year. She's sixth in the SEC in three-pointers made. Gamecocks got to do a better job. Here's Tanai Latson driving in the lane. A lot of contact. No foul. Loose ball on the floor, tied up, held ball, possession of the Gamecocks. My goodness, what do you got to do to get a foul called in here today? A lot of contact, and they are letting them play. Maddie McDaniel will check in for the first time, the sophomore from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, averaging just under 5 points, under 3 assists per game. She picks up Latson. Tessa Johnson back in as Joyce Edwards goes out. Carolina ball will bring it in baseline right side. Gamecocks screaming for a foul underneath the basket. Didn't get it. Maddie McDaniel will bring it in baseline right side. 13 on the shot clock. Throws it off the behind of an Oklahoma player and gets it back to herself. Feed it down low to Medina Okada. Medina trying to create. Spins to her left. Lost the handle. Recovers. Kicks it out to Tessa. Tessa right wing three. Bang! Got it. Three-pointer Tessa Johnson. Her 86th of the year. And it's 18-9 Gamecocks. 2:29 to play in the first quarter. Here's Chavez just inside the arc straight away. Her 20-footer won't go down. And they get the rebound on the other side. Driving into the lane, wide open underneath the basket is Lofton as the Gamecocks didn't stop the dribble. And it's an easy layup for Lofton. Her first points makes it 18-11. Here come the Gamecocks the other way. 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Maddie McDaniel up top. Work it left side to Raven. Gamecocks have been aggressive going to the basket, just not getting to the free throw line. Feed it right side to Maddie. 13 on the shot clock. On the right baseline now as Maddie gives it off to Raven with 10 to shoot it on the right wing. Guarded by Chavez. Gives it back to Medina. Long baseline jumper, too strong. Rebound underneath by Lofton. Here come the Sooners the other way. 7-point lead for the Gamecocks. Chavez feeds it inside to Verhulst. Ball knocked free. Raven comes out of there with it. Raven on the run. Weaving through defenders. Drives into the lane. Floats it up and in. Raven Johnson goes coast to coast. And it's 20-11 Gamecocks. Raven in transition there with the bucket. Here's a long jumper that won't go down for the Sooners. Big Mama with another rebound. Somebody come back and get the ball from her. We finally do. Maddie McDaniel will bring it up. Gamecocks lead is 9. 1:15 to play in the opening quarter here. Maddie McDaniel across the timeline. Looks back to Coach Staley for the play. Shot clock already down to 15. Maddie dribbling to her left towards the Oklahoma bench. Gamecocks taking some air out of the ball this possession. Maddie now back to her right. Shot clock under 10. Up top, Agat McKeer. McKeer driving into the lane with the left hand. Puts it off the window. No good. Big Mama with the rebound. But she's too far underneath the basket and just has the ball ripped out of her hands. The ball's loose on the floor. McKeer comes out of there with it. Gets it to Raven for three. Bang! Raven Johnson with her 38 three-pointer. And the Gamecocks have their largest lead at 23-11. And on the other side, Chavez drives the length of the floor. Nobody stopped the dribble, and she gets a layup to cut Carolina's lead to 10 at 23-13. Gamecocks have to get back on defense a lot quicker, giving a lot of quick baskets to Oklahoma after big baskets themselves. 20 seconds to play in the quarter, and going to get an offensive foul on Medina Okada. Setting an illegal screen. It'll be her first, and they'll give it back to Oklahoma, who can work for the final shot of the quarter with 20.6 seconds to play. Gamecocks leading the Sooners 23-13. Both teams have been called for an offensive foul, but they ain't calling anything else underneath the basket. Oklahoma with the ball. Chavez will bring it up. She'll get it across, guarded by Agat McKeer. Across the March Madness logo, 10 seconds to play. Chavez around a screen to her right. Tessa takes her on the switch. Steps back into a three, partially blocked. They get the rebound. Chavez drives, loops it up, off the rim, no good. Rebound Edwards, and that's how the first quarter will end. 10 minutes in the book. South Carolina leading Oklahoma here in the Sweet 16, 23-13. Parents, it's never too late or too early to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, because if you're not talking to them, someone else is. Get conversation starters at openconversationsc.com. This women's basketball postseason radio broadcast is proudly presented by the South Carolina Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. And you're listening to South Carolina Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network from Learfield. Go to the foul line. Not a lot of whistles in that first half. 2 fouls on South Carolina, 1 on Oklahoma. But boy, have they been letting them play inside. Gamecocks in white, Oklahoma in their crimson uniforms. Second meeting between these two schools, obviously, with Oklahoma winning the regular season meeting in Norman in overtime back in January. The only regular season conference loss for the Gamecocks this year. Gamecocks got here in the Sweet 16 with wins over Southern University in the first round and then knocking off Southern Cal in the second round. For Oklahoma, they defeated Idaho, the 13 seed, in the first round, and then the 5 seed Michigan State in the second round. The winner of this gets the winner of the last game of the day between the number 3 seed TCU and the 10 seed Virginia. And that game will be Monday at a time to be announced. The rest of the Elite Eight is set, the other 6. We'll tell you more about that at halftime. Recap what's been going on. Update on Gamecock sports if you hadn't heard. Gamecock baseball fell today in Game 2 of their series to number 4 Georgia in Athens. Georgia wins it 3-1, another close one. Georgia's taken the first 2 games of that series. On the softball diamond, Gamecock softball gets a top 15 win in Game 1 of their 3-game series at Mississippi State today, winning 2-0. Oklahoma ball to start the second quarter, moving right to left. Gamecocks and defensively, you've got Maddie McDaniel, Agat McKeer, Tessa Johnson, Tanai Latson, and Joyce Edwards on the floor. And we're underway. Chavez will bring it up for Oklahoma. Gamecocks stay in their man-to-man. Chavez bounce pass up top to Stewart. Now the ball coming right to us. Turnover by Oklahoma. We'll give it back to the Gamecocks. Carolina ball. Not a whole lot of turnovers today. Gamecocks will take the freebie there. McDaniel hands it off to Tessa Johnson. Can't pull the trigger. Tries to drive instead. Kicks it out to Maddie. Far corner 3. Off the front of the rim, or the side of the rim. No good. McDaniel, not a great three-point shooter. Had a good look. Couldn't knock it down. And then ball knocked out of bounds just in front of us again. Off the Gamecocks this time. It'll stay with Oklahoma. Still 23-13. Gamecocks in front. Peyton Verhulst back into the contest along with Reagan Beers for Oklahoma. No switches for the Gamecocks. Verhulst to bring it in just in front of us. Gets it in to Van, and we're underway. Van guarded by McDaniel in the man-to-man. Comes around a screen. Feeds it to Chavez, and they threw it into the Carolina bench. Back-to-back turnovers for Oklahoma. Gamecocks will take it. Gamecocks actually had 6 turnovers in that first quarter. I think 2 of them were on offensive fouls, however. And a couple of tie-ups that didn't go their way. Here's Tanai Latson left side. Top of the circle, passes left to Agat McKeer. Down to Edwards, who's been quiet today on the far baseline. Trying to create, drives in the lane, ball knocked out of her hands, kicks it back out to Latson. Latson step back, 18-footer, got it! Tanaya Latson in double figures with 10 points, and that'll start the scoring here, 25-13 Carolina. They feed it down low to Williams, driving on the baseline. Pull-up jumper off the glass, no good. Maddie McDaniel skies for the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. McDaniel quickly across the timeline. Feeds it to Tanai Latson left side. Thought about the 3, doesn't take it as Beers collapses on her. Latson struggling to pick up the basketball, finally does. Latson working on Beers, that's an odd matchup. Gets it to McKeer, far corner 3, bang, got it, three-pointer, got McKeer, her 13th of the year. And it's 28-13 Gamecocks. Gotti, only 20% from that range, but hits a big one there to give the Gamecocks their largest lead of 15. 5th three-pointer of the day already for the Gamecocks. Here comes Oklahoma. Near side Verhulst. Up top to Reagan Beers. Oh my goodness, they feed it down to Williams. She loses it out of bounds. Gamecocks will have it on the 3rd straight turnover by Oklahoma. Got to keep cashing this into points. And a timeout's going to be taken by Jennie Baranczyk of Oklahoma to try to stop the bleeding here. Hey parents, it's never too late or too early to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, because if you're not talking to them, someone else is. Get conversation starters at openconversationsc.com. This women's basketball postseason radio broadcast is proudly presented by the South Carolina Departments from the floor, and the one make by Medina was a 3-pointer. They've got to find a way to get some points on the interior. But it's tough with Reagan Beers in there, and especially when they're letting them play inside. On the floor for the Gamecocks, Maddie McDaniel, Tessa Johnson, Agat McKeer, Raven Johnson, Joyce Edwards. It'll be Carolina ball in their home whites. Oklahoma in their crimson uniforms. Gamecocks moving left to right here. Maddie McDaniel will bring it up. Mouse, as they call her. Gets it across the March Madness logo. Passes to McKeer left side, guarded by Verholst in the man-to-man. To Tessa, driving into the lane. Back out to McKeer. Work it up as we run our weave. Top of the circle. Here's Raven. Shot clock down to 13. Guarded closely by Williams. Comes around a screen. Needs some help. Into the lane. 9 seconds to shoot it. Swarming defense here. 5 to shoot it for McKeer. Comes around a screen. Tries to drive the baseline. Gets past one defender and rolls it up and in. McKeer found another gear, and the Gamecocks lead 30-13. A 7-0 run to start the second quarter. Here's Beers the other way. Fumbles, recovers, drives to the low block, puts it up and in, and that'll stop the bleeding for the moment to make it 30-15, snapping that 7-0 run by the Gamecocks. Here's Tessa Johnson left side, comes around a screen, driving into the lane, kick out near corner. Raven wants 3, bang, got it again. Raven Johnson with her second three-pointer. She's got a dozen, and the Gamecocks lead 33-15. Goodness, Gamecocks have hit 6 out of 8 from three-point range. They feed it up top to Williams, inside to Reagan Beers. Puts it up off the window for 2, and that's getting too easy, even though the Gamecocks lead 33-17. Beers making it look easy in the last couple of possessions. She's got 6 points, has hit all 3 of her shots. She went 8 for 9 against us in the first meeting on layups just like that. Got to find a way to deny her the pass on the post. Shot clock at 15 to Joyce Edwards on the baseline on the near side. Joyce, one dribble, hands it off to Raven. Raven pulls up from the baseline, got it! Raven Johnson with 14 points, and it's 35-17. Here come the Sooners the other way quickly. Sahara Williams lobs it down low to Beers. Beers pushes Joyce Edwards out of the way. Missed her shot finally, but they get the rebound as Zia Van sneaks in. She'll bring it back out to the top of the circle. Shot clock at 15. Van driving into the lane against Maddie, and they're going to get Maddie for a foul, and that'll send her to the line for 2. First free throws coming up for Oklahoma. You finally got Beers to miss one and gave up an offensive rebound. We're going to get Tanaya Latson and Medina Okot back in. Joyce doing all she can against big Beers, but Beers has got a lot of size on her and just having her way down there. Raven and Tessa out now for the Gamecocks. At the free throw line, Zia Van checks in, the sophomore from Bethany, Oklahoma. Good free throw shooter at 75%, averaging 10.5 points per game, but she bricked the first free throw. Again, had 11 points against the Gamecocks the first meeting. Van, second free throw is good, and the lead is trimmed 35-18. 6:20 to play here in the second quarter. Latson across the timeline, passes up top to Joyce Edwards. Work it left side, McKeer passes to the right to Maddie McDaniel. Maddie around a screen, passes right, 2-3 zone here by Oklahoma, trying to take away the inside game, and we throw it away. Not what you wanted there. Chavez almost got a little too tricky with the dribble, but comes out of there with it for Oklahoma. Feeds it up top, wide open look for Van. Missed the three-pointer. Williams skies for the rebound, and they're going to get Medina Okot for her second foul. Kind of a ticky-tack foul with what they've not called here today, but it'll be her second foul anyway. They say she went over the back, but they've let a lot more go by. So Big Medina will come out, and making her first appearance today, Ali Tornabes, the freshman from Charmey, France. Chavez to bring it in, gets it into Williams, knifing through 2 defenders, and she lays it up and in. And the lead is trimmed 35-20. 5:49 to play in the second quarter. Gamecocks could use a bucket here. Have not been able to get anything inside. Here's Maddie left side. Comes around a screen from Tornabes, looking for the pick and roll. Couldn't get it to her. Now Latson left wing. Shot clock at 12. Feeds it to Edwards on the left elbow. Back to Maddie. Maddie drives into the lane. It opens for her. Has her shot swatted away by Brooklyn Stewart. The 6'3 freshman picked up the 5'9 sophomore, and that was not mathing. Verholst drives the lane. Misses the layup on the other side. Rebound to Oklahoma. Up top to Chavez. Has got a good look at a 3. No good. Tornabes with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Outlet to Maddie. Midway through the second quarter, Gamecocks lead is 15. McKeer drives across the baseline, had the ball slapped out of her hands. Gamecocks recover. Here's Latson up top. Maddie McDaniel will kind of settle things down here. Gamecocks have gotten nothing inside today. Shot clock at 13 for Latson, right wing. Latson on the dribble, trying to create. Under 10 as Chavez picks her up. Feeds it to Joyce Edwards. Touch pass to Tornabes, who lays it up and in. What a pass from Joyce Edwards. First points for Malley, and it's 37-20. Gamecocks in front here. 4:40 to play in the second quarter. And another turnover by the Sooners. They were trying to feed Verhulst, feeding on the back door. She lost it out of bounds. Carolina ball when we come back. 4:37 to play in the second quarter. Gamecocks leading Oklahoma here 37-20. Reminder, this women's basketball postseason radio broadcast is proudly presented by the South Carolina Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. And you're listening to South Carolina Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network from Learfield. For the Sooners, Aaliyah Chavez with 7. Rager Beers starting to heat up. She's got 6. Gamecocks obviously with the big lead, but still struggling to get anything going inside as the two bigs for the Gamecocks, Medina Okot and Joyce Edwards, a combined 1 for 6 from the floor, and the one field goal by the two forwards was a three-pointer by Medina, so we have not been able to get the ball inside at all and score. See if the Gamecocks can keep it up, however. On the floor for the Gamecocks in their home whites, and again, Okot on the bench now with 2 fouls. Johnson and Johnson, Latson, Edwards, and Tornabees. Tornabees just got her first points after a sweet dish from Joyce Edwards, who has 3 assists tonight. Carolina ball moving left to right as play resumes, trying to build on a 17-point lead. Both teams trying to get back to the Elite Eight. See some pressure in the backcourt by Oklahoma this trip. Edwards triggers it into Raven. We're back underway. Tight man-to-man coverage in the backcourt. Raven trying to stay out of a trap. Gets it to Joyce. She'll dribble across. Joyce back to Raven now. Top of the circle. Works it right side to Tornabees. Up top to Nia Latson. Swing it left side. Quick touch pass inside to Tornabees, who fumbled but recovers. Gets it to Raven. Baseline jumper. Got it! Raven Johnson with 16 points, and the Gamecocks with their largest lead at 39-20. Raven Johnson. Up top it comes. Verhulst quickly. Gets it on the give and go. Left elbow jumper from Verhulst is good. She is so good off the dribble. Verhulst with her first points, and it's 39-22. Lead is trimmed with under 4 minutes to play in the half. Here's Latson up top. 2-3 zone by Oklahoma this trip. Trying to trap on the ball. Right side to Raven playing traffic cop. Can't get everyone where she wants them. Feeds to Edwards, middle of the lane. Back up top to Latson. Latson driving the lane, cut off by Beers. To Edwards at the free throw line. Now Raven right side. She wants 3. Missed it short. Edwards tips the rebound to herself. She'll pull it back out. Gamecocks on the reset. Near side it comes to Latson. Shot clock down to 12. Tanaya up top to Tornabees. She'll spot up for 3. Back rimmed it no good. Tried to follow her shot, and she's going to get whistled for a foul. As she went in there to get the rebound and collided with one of the Sooners. It'll stay with Oklahoma. Still 39-22 Gamecocks. Verhulst will come out for the Sooners. Kaya Smith checks in, a sophomore from Oklahoma City, averaging 4.5 points per game. Oklahoma ball. As Chavez will bring it up, Raven will pick her up. 3:20 to play in the half. Dribbling left is Chavez. Gamecocks staying in the man-to-man. Comes around a screen to her right. Pull-up jumper from the right elbow. Missed it short. Edwards with the rebound. Outlet pass to Tessa Johnson. It's 2-on-2 the other way. Tessa cut off on the low block. Pull-up jumper. Missed it well off the mark. Rebound to Oklahoma. Tessa just a little bit out of control there. Oklahoma did a nice job of getting back. Here comes Oklahoma the other way. Quickly down the floor, Chavez gets it off to Beers. To Chavez on the give and go. Knifes her way in. Shot blocked. It goes out of bounds. And remain with Oklahoma. That was Tornabees, I believe, who got the block. Good play by the freshman Alley. It'll be Oklahoma ball. They'll bring it in baseline left side. Chavez to bring it in baseline left side. Looking for a cutter. Gets it into Stewart. Back to Chavez. Chavez knifing around to the top of the circle. To the free throw line. Kicks it out left side to Stewart. Bounce pass stolen away by Allie Tornabees. And what is a whistle away from the ball? What is this? They're going to call Allie for a foul before she got the steal. And that... Oh, boy. Not sure about that one. Something must have happened before she got the steal. 2 fouls on Allie. Remember, Okot's already got 2 fouls. And Dowda will have to check in now. And no Adele Tack still, so the Gamecocks thin in the post due to foul trouble. 2:46 to play in the half. Verhulst will bring it in baseline right side for the Sooners. Gets it in to Stewart. Baseline jumpers and air ball. Verhulst gets the rebound on the other side as we didn't box her out. Off the inbound to Stewart. Touch pass inside. Knocked away by Dowda. Tessa comes out of there with it. Good defense by the Gamecocks that time. 2.5 minutes to play in the half. Gamecocks with a 17-point lead. Largest lead was 19. Raven passes right to Dowda. Back up top to Latson. Left side to Raven. Shot clock halfway down. To Tessa Johnson up top. Feed it to Joyce, who's been quiet at the free throw line. Backdoor cut tonight. Latson climbs the ladder, and she's hacked underneath. If that pass was true, Latson has an uncontested layup, but she had to really climb the ladder for it. And she came back down, went up, and got the foul. Now she'll have to get the points at the free throw line. Gamecocks haven't scored in a little over 2 minutes. We'll get Agat McKeer back into the game. The freshman will pick up Tessa Johnson. And tonight, Latson at the line. She's got 10 points here in the first half. Latson in the Sweet 16 for the first time in her career. Hits the first free throw. She's 4 for 4 tonight. Furthest she got with Florida State was the second round. Second free throw, got them both, and the Gamecocks lead 41-22. 2:12 to play in the half. Here come the Sooners quickly down the floor. They zip it right side to Smith. Back up top it comes to Reagan Beers. Beers guarded by Dowda. Hands it off to Verhulst. Verhulst steps to her left, pulls up for three, buries it. Created her own shot there. Verhulst hits her 50th three-pointer of the season, makes it 41-25. She is deadly off the dribble. And got a nice one there after not exactly a step back, but step to her left after the up fake. That got Latson in the air. Here's Raven up top. Gamecocks lead 41-25. Zip it to Edwards in the far corner. Joyce gets it back to Raven. Raven dribbles back, 10 to shoot it, tries to go baseline. Cut off there, zips it up top, Tanaya Latson. Latson stop and go dribble into the lane, puts it high off the glass and in. Tanaya Latson makes it 43-25. Latson with 14 points. Here comes Oklahoma quickly down the floor. Up top, Reagan Beers all by herself for three. She's no good. Rebound lost out of bounds as Raven Johnson couldn't collect it. It'll remain with Oklahoma. Beers, their big post player, has hit 6 3-pointers on the year, but in 34 attempts. Gamecocks left her wide open. Verhulst will bring it in baseline right side. We'll get Maddie McDaniel in. She'll pick up Raven. 1:16 to play in the half. Gamecocks lead at 43-25. Verhulst to trigger it in. Gets it in. Sahara Williams drives in the lane, puts it up and in. She's fouled. Count the basket. Chance for a three-point play, and a bad foul there by Joyce Edwards, who got beat on the play. It was bad enough she got beat, then compounded the problem by fouling her from behind. Just give up the layup. There's no way you were going to prevent it. And now it's a chance for a three-point play. 43-27 now, as Sahara Williams will go to the stripe, where she's 71% on the season. 4 points today, her first visit to the free throw line. The free throw is good, and it's 43-28. Final minute 13 here of the half. Maddie McDaniel will get it across. Dribbling back to her right around a screen. Back up top to McKeer. Agat wants a screen, comes around it to her left from Edwards, trying to create on the baseline, cut off there, feeds it inside to Joyce, who's hit from behind by Reagan Beers, no foul call. Shot clock under 10. 5 to shoot it now. Trying to drive is McKeer to Latson left side. She'll step back into a three-pointer. Got it, she's fouled, count the basket, chance for a 4-point play. Tanaya Latson, 17 first half points, and the Gamecocks lead 46-28. Verhulst commits the cardinal sin of fouling a three-point shooter. One more time at the free throw line for Tanaya Latson. Follow-up free throw is good. She's 6 for 6, and the Gamecocks lead 47-28 with 44 seconds to play in the half. Here's Beers up top for the Sooners. Terminates the dribble, passes left to Williams. Up top to Verhulst. Guarded by Latson in the man-to-man. Feeds Beers top of the circle. Beers, 18-footer straight away. In and out, no good. Rebound, ping-pongs around. Edwards comes out of there with it. Gamecocks will have it. They can work for the final shot with 20 seconds to play in the half. Gamecocks in front here, 47-28, but still a long way to go in this one, obviously. 13 seconds to play. McDaniel just across the timeline. Tight man-to-man coverage from Lofton. Comes around a screen to her left. 5 seconds to play. Drive, shoots, has her shot swatted away. Here come the Sooners in transition. Get it ahead to Sahara Williams, and she'll have a layup. Blows the layup at the buzzer. Oh, my. Sahara Williams all by herself, and she blew the bunny. So the Gamecocks will go into the locker room with a 19-point lead. They lead Oklahoma here at the intermission, 47-28. 20 minutes of basketball in the book. Let's hope we got 20 more minutes of good basketball against a top 10 opponent in the Oklahoma Sooners. The winner is on to the Elite Eight. Hey, parents, it's never too late nor too early to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Because if you're not talking to them, someone else.
Tonight, Latson has 18 points. She's 5 of 6 from the field, and she's with Chris.
Tonight, you got this offense going from the tip, including the 7 threes that you guys have. What's allowed you guys to operate this offense so cleanly?
We're just being patient. That's something that coach is focusing on. Just being patient, cutting, and playing hard. That's something that we knew we had to come in and do against this Oklahoma team.
Against this kind of an offense as well, what has worked so well on the defensive end?
Just being aggressive, not letting our man cut to the basket, cut across our face, playing with the first punch. That's something that we got to do. We knew we had to come out here and play good defense. They're a really good offensive team.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you so much.
Courtney?
I'm not sure South Carolina could be further from Columbia, South Carolina, but man, they sure look at home here in Sacramento. A complete team effort on both sides of the ball in the first half. They lead 47-28 at halftime. Let's get you to the studio. Kelsey, Muffet, and Megan.
And we welcome you back to the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California, side of the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight of the 2026 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Gamecocks trying to advance to the Elite Eight for the 6th year in a row and 9th time in program history, but got to get 20 more minutes of good basketball under their belts after a good first 20 minutes. See what they can do here in the second half against a top 10 Oklahoma squad. Good crowd here in Sacramento, considering how far fans have had to travel for this. With Midwest and East Coast teams and Southern teams playing here. No West Coast teams in this portion of the bracket. But a lot of garnet and black, a lot of crimson in here, a lot of TCU purple as well. TCU and Virginia will play the game following us tonight in the final game to complete the Elite Eight. Gamecocks in white, Oklahoma in crimson. I believe it'll be Carolina ball to start the third quarter, moving right to left as we wait for the Gamecocks to break their huddle out in front of us. Carolina leading at 47-28. Gamecocks will start the second half. It looks like the original starting 5. Raven Johnson, Tessa Johnson, Tania Latson, Joyce Edwards, Medina Okot. It'll be Joyce to trigger it in at midcourt as Oklahoma picks up in their tight man-to-man. Raven will bring it up and get it across. Raven dribbling just in front of us. Guarded by Van in the man-to-man. Top of the circle. Now Coach Staley signals the play. The Gamecocks settle into their half court here. Very slow set here. Not a whole lot of movement. Shot clock down to 13. Joyce in the far corner is going to spot up for a long one. Got it! First points of the night for Joyce Edwards. And the Gamecocks lead 49-28. Their largest lead of the day. Here's a long three. That's good by Peyton Verhulst, her second of the game. And quickly the lead is trimmed 49-31. Her second three-pointer of the afternoon. Just underway here in the third quarter. Here's Latson driving into the lane. Kicks it out to Edwards. Near baseline jumper, no good, but she's fouled by Chavez and will go to the line. So Joyce, who just got her first points of the night a moment ago, will go to the line for the first time here to try to add to it. Gamecocks lead is 18. It was 21 for a few seconds before the Sooners hit a three-pointer. It was their third three-pointer of the day. Joyce, just a 70% free throw shooter this year. It's been kind of up and down. Hits the first one. Makes it 50-31. One more time for Joyce, who's got the double puffs hairdo going today. Second free throw, got them both. And Gamecocks with a 20-point lead, 9:15 and counting in the third quarter. Van quickly across the timeline for Oklahoma. They get down the floor in a hurry. She'll spot up for three and buries it. Tessa didn't get a hand in her face. Back-to-back threes. Sooners starting to heat up, and the lead is trimmed 51-34. You've got to be ready for those quick trigger threes by Oklahoma. Here's Tessa left side. Tessa on the give and go to Joyce Edwards. She will float it up. Oh, and blew the bunny. Had a great look underneath the basket, beat Beers to the spot and missed it. Here comes Oklahoma. The lead is 17. quickly down the floor. Driving under the lane, shot up no good. Rebound by Joyce Edwards. Gamecocks catch a break there after missing a layup attempt by Joyce Edwards a moment ago. 8:40 to play in the third. Raven kicks it up top to Joyce Edwards. Passes left to Tessa. Tessa trying to drive all the way across the lane. Reverse layup is good. What a finish by Tessa Johnson on the reverse. She's got 5, and the Gamecocks lead 53-34. Here come the Sooners. Left side it comes to Williams. Back up top to Beers. Work it to Verhulst, coming off a screen, driving into the lane, pulls up from the free throw line, left it short. Rebound to Latson. Latson breaking free from the pack. It's 2-on-1 the other way. It's going to take it to the rack herself. Oh, they're going to get her for an offensive foul. Gamecock bench didn't like it. First foul on Latson. Latson had options there, but took it straight to the rack, and don't have the benefit of the replay here. We don't have monitors on press row, so you at home can tell me whether it was a good call or not. Could have gone either way, I guess. Either way, goes to Oklahoma. Gamecocks in front, 53-34. Here's Van dribbling to her right. Hop step, pulls up from the baseline, no good. Rebound ping-pongs around, knocked out of bounds off the Gamecocks. It'll remain with Oklahoma. They'll bring it in baseline left side with the Sooners. Chavez to trigger it in. A lot of pushing and shoving. Goodness. They finally get it in. Ball knocked free, stolen away by Joyce Edwards, and threw it off Sahara Williams out of bounds to save it. It'll be Carolina ball. What a play by Joyce, who was knocked to the floor. There was no foul called. She's still able to knock it free and then threw it off one of the Sooners. It'll be Carolina ball. They'll get a sub in. Brooklyn Stewart checks in. The 6'3 freshman from Colorado Springs will bring up Williams. Carolina leads it 53-34. 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Raven will bring it up on Van as they match up in the man-to-man. Raven gets it across, dribbling just in front of us. Gets it to Medina Okot on the near baseline, guarded by Beers. Medina not taking it to her, hands it off to Latson. Latson on the dribble just in front of us on the wing, drives in the lane, dumps it down low to Medina. Bumped out of bounds, no foul called, but Tessa Johnson picks up the loose ball, pulls up from the baseline and buries it. Tessa Johnson with 7 points, and the Gamecocks lead 55-34. They are really letting them play inside with Reagan Beers and all the contact. Beers up top, trying to drive in the lane, cut off by Medina Okot. Got to hurry, gets it off to Van on the baseline. Van back to Beers. She'll take an 18-footer right side. Off the rim, no good. Verhulst flies in for the rebound and gets a layup as, again, we didn't box her out. Got to do a better job there. It's 54-36. Verhulst, or 55-36. Verhulst in double figures now with 10 points. Here's Raven, top of the circle, dribbling to her right, guarded by Van in the man-to-man. Up top to Latson. Latson looking, passes left to Tessa, trying to create, drives, stops, pops, and drops it home. 2 more for Tessa. She's got 9, and it's 57-36 Carolina. 6:40 to play in the third. Here comes Chavez the other way. On the right side, trying to go baseline, cuts all the way across the lane, reverse layup, rolls in. What a finish there by Chavez. She's got 9. That's a tough one to defend. It's 57-38. Heck of a play by the freshman, the ESPN National Freshman of the Year. 6:20 to play. Gamecocks lead is 19 here in the third quarter. Raven, guarded by Van, has to avoid the 5 count, puts it on the floor, dribbling to her right, shot clock down to 10. To Edwards in the far corner, tries to drive the baseline, bumped, no foul, goes up. Ball knocked out of her hands, rebound to Oklahoma. Boy, they just won't call anything. Van trying to drive. Cut off top of the circle, gives it off to Beers. Edwards was bumped as she crossed the baseline. Here's Verhulst three-pointer. Put up an air ball, just hit the bottom of the net. Gamecocks come out of there with it. Fooled me for a moment. I thought she hit it, but hit only the bottom of the net, not the top. Carolina ball leading by 19 as we approach the midpoint of the third quarter here in Sacramento. Raven dribbling to her left, shot clock at 15. Up top to Latson. Work it right side, Tessa. She wants 3. Bang! Got it. Three-pointer, Tessa Johnson. Her second three-pointer gives her a dozen points, and it's 60-38 Gamecocks. Gamecocks with their 8th three-pointer of the afternoon. Tessa Johnson now with 87 three-pointers on the year. Ball stolen away by Medina Okot as they tried to feed Beers in the post. Gamecocks come out of there with it, leading 60-38. Raven across the timeline, trying to create, across the baseline, floats it up and in. She beat 2 defenders, and the Gamecocks lead 62-38. And Coach Jennie Baranczyk's going to burn another timeout to stop the bleeding. Carolina in front of Oklahoma, 62-38 with 5:07 to play in the third quarter. This women's basketball postseason radio broadcast is proudly presented by the South Carolina Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, and you're listening to South Carolina Women's Basketball on the Gamecocks Sports Network from the... Winner of this game again plays Monday at a time to be announced by TV in a little while. Gamecocks in white, Oklahoma in their crimson. Oklahoma ball as play resumes, moving left to right. As Chavez, the freshman, will bring it up on Agat McKeer. Picks her up at half court, dribbling to her right. Feeds it up top to Sahara Williams. Lobs it down low to Beers. Beers goes up and she's fouled by Joyce Edwards. Heck of an entry pass there. Coach Staley wanted a foul. Couldn't get it. And that'll send us to the media timeout, as the Sooners had just taken a timeout a moment ago before the media timeout. So another break here in the action. 4:56 to... Gamecocks, at times, like most teams, struggling to deny entry passes to Reagan Beers. On the floor for the Gamecocks, it is Johnson and Johnson, Latson, or I'm sorry, McKeer, Edwards, and Tornabese. Sooners will be at the line trying to cut into this deficit as Reagan Beers will go to the line for the first time. The All-American, 6 points, 5 rebounds today. Came in averaging nearly 16 points, second in the SEC with 10.5 rebounds per contest. Good free throw shooter, but misses the first one. Actually has struggled at the line a little bit this year, 60%. Had 18 points, 14 rebounds against the Gamecocks in their win over Carolina in Oklahoma. Hits 1 out of 2 free throws, and the lead is trimmed 62-39. Carolina ball now. Raven gets it across. Man-to-man defense. Passes to her right. To Tessa. Back to Raven in the far corner. Raven to Edwards, right elbow. Tight coverage by Lofton. Stabbing at the ball. Gets it back to Raven. 15 to shoot it. Just playing on that one side. Got to give it up. Here's Tessa dribbling right side. Tessa feeds it inside to Joyce, and Joyce puts it up and in. 6 points for Joyce Edwards, all here in the third quarter. Makes it 64-39. Here's Chavez the other way, pulls up from the baseline and banks it in for 2, and it's 64-41. Sooners do a great job of scoring quickly at times. Here's Raven Johnson driving into the lane. It opens for her, but she misses the layup. Fight for the rebound. Sooners come out of there with it. They want to run. 4:10 to play in the third. Here's Chavez weaving through defenders. Top of the circle. Bounce pass inside. They get it into Beers, and she gets the layup. 64-43. Back-to-back baskets for the first time in a while for Oklahoma. Gamecocks have to defend the post better than that. Somehow they got mixed up. It looked like Tessa was guarding Beers, and that's not a matchup you want. Here's McKeer up top. Hands it off to Tessa. Top of the circle. Passes right to Raven. Feed it to Tornabese at the free throw line. 15-footer. In and out, no good. Went halfway down and popped out for the freshman. Here comes Oklahoma the other way, trying to get on a run. Chavez for 3, back rimmed it no good. Alley with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Gets it off to Raven. Gamecocks have been quiet the last few trips. Still leading 64-43. 3.5 minutes to play. McKeer dribbling to the top of the circle, passes right to Joyce Edwards. Now Tessa Johnson on the dribble with the left hand, feeds Edwards. She'll try to baseline, cut off there. Needs some help, shot clock at 10. Joyce probes into the lane, has the ball knocked out of her hands. Tessa cleans up the mess and puts it in for 2. Tessa Johnson with 14 points, and the Gamecocks lead 66-43. Quickly they come the other way and get a layup as Keziah Lofton beat everyone to the low block and lays it up and in. It's 66-45, and once again the Gamecocks just not getting back on defense. Still have the big lead, but doesn't make you comfortable with how quickly the Sooners are able to get high percentage shots, just getting beat down the floor. Here's McKeer around a screen to her left. Looking for the pick and roll, can't do it. Work it right side, Tessa Johnson. Shot clock down to 10. Tessa around a screen from Alley. Pulls up from the baseline, airballed it. Rebound to Lofton for Oklahoma. Here come the Sooners the other way. Quickly down the floor is Lofton, guarded by McKeer. Drives the lane left side, floats it off the side of the backboard, no good. Rebound Tessa, and the Gamecocks have it. Outlet to Raven. Raven ahead to McKeer. McKeer stop and go dribble. Pulls up in the lane, missed it short off the rim. Rebound lost out of bounds, Carolina ball. We'll get Tania Latson back into the game. She'll pick up Tessa. Medina Okot will check in as well. Big Mama will replace Joyce Edwards. Sooners counter with a couple of subs as well. Carolina ball will bring it in baseline left side. Raven to trigger it in as she tells everybody where she wants them. Raven trying to get everybody where they need to be. Feeds in the middle of the lane to Medina. Doesn't take the shot, gives it off to Latson. Medina seemed very hesitant there, didn't really understand the play. Tenaya around a screen, pulls up right elbow, left it short. Rebound Oklahoma, they want to run. One of the few Tenaya's missed today after a hot first half. And then Tenaya slaps the ball loose, and the Sooners come out of there with it, unfortunately. Chavez drives in the lane, dumps it down low to Beers, and she's going to be fouled and will go to the line. That was a hectic, frenetic play there. Looked like the Gamecocks were going to get a steal. Latson thought she was fouled, but fouls have been hard to come by today against the Sooners. And we'll send Beers to the free throw line. She's got 9 points, 1 out of 2 from the stripe today. Gamecocks just 1 for their last 7 from the floor. They've certainly cooled off. Peyton Verhulst back in for the Sooners. She'll pick up Kaya Smith. Beers at the line for a pair. The All-American center. First team All-SEC this year as well. Hits the first free throw, and that puts her in double figures with 10 points. Second free throw upcoming. And missed it. Rebound, Allie Tornabese. And the Gamecocks have it, leading by 20. 66-46, 1:50 to play in the third. Raven up top, guarded by Van. As we try to settle into the half court here. Raven swings it right side to Tenaya Latson. Around a screen from Medina Okot. Drives in the lane. Can't bank it in too hard. Medina Okot had the rebound, then lost it. It goes out of bounds off the Sooners. It'll be Carolina ball. Sooners will get a sub in. Sahara Williams is back in, the sophomore from Oklahoma City. Or I'm sorry, from Waterloo, Iowa. She'll pick up Brooklyn Stewart, the 6'3 freshman. Carolina ball will bring it in baseline right side. Raven to trigger it in. It's 1:34 to play here in the third. Raven goes inside to Okot. Had her shot blocked by Beers, and Williams gets the rebound. Heck of a play there by Beers to block Big Mama. Here come the Sooners the other way. Verhulst into the far corner. Up top it comes to Chavez. Chavez guarded by Raven. On the dribble and the man-to-man. Up top to Reagan Beers. Beers, bounce pass to the right. Shot clock at 13. This is Van around a screen, trying to drive in the lane. Cut off halfway down to Williams at the free throw line. 15-footer, no good. Rebound to Medina Okot, and the Gamecocks have it. 8 rebounds for Big Mama today. Minute to play in the third. Gamecocks lead Oklahoma here, 66-46. Here's Raven across the timeline. Gets a screen from Allie. Can't do much with it. Shot clock halfway down. Feed it down low to Allie, and she will blow the layup. Oh, goodness. It was a great feed from Medina, and Allie just missed from point-blank range. Here come the Sooners in transition. They feed it way back up top to Reagan Beers. Now up to Chavez, guarded by McKeer. 39 seconds to play in the quarter. Chavez dribbling left. McKeer stabbing at the basketball. 13 to shoot him. Now Williams driving in the lane right side. Shot blocked by Allie Tornabese. It goes out of bounds. It'll remain with the Sooners with 10 on the shot clock. Good defensive recovery there by the freshman. Gamecocks have cooled off, haven't scored in more than 2.5 minutes. They've missed their last 6 shots from the floor, just 1 for their last 10. They feed it into Beers to the Sooners. Chavez in the far corner for 3. It's good. I thought she had a foot in front of the line, but they said it was a 3, and it's 66-49. Chavez with 14 points on her second three-pointer today. 18 seconds to play in the third quarter. Gamecocks can work for the final shot. Here's Latson, guarded closely by Van. Dribbling to her left, drives into the lane, takes it to the rack, misses the layup. Medina Okot is there. She'll lay it back in. Big Mama with the bucket makes it 68-49. Half-court shot by Chavez at the buzzer, nowhere close, and that's how the third quarter will end. 30 minutes in the books, 10 minutes to decide who's going to the Elite Eight. South Carolina leading Oklahoma here 68-49. Back with the final frame after this. This women's basketball postseason radio broadcast is proudly presented by the South Carolina Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. And you're listening to South Carolina women's basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network from Learfield. Keep Oklahoma in check here and move on to the Elite Eight. Again, the winner of this game gets the winner of the late game after us between the 3-seed TCU and the 10-seed Virginia. The rest of the Elite Eight is set. In the Fort Worth 1 regional, top seed UConn will take on the 6-seed Notre Dame. In the Sacramento 2 regional, top seed UCLA will take on the 3-seed Duke tomorrow here. And in the Fort Worth 3 regional, the number 1 seed Texas will take on the number 2 seed Michigan. So this is the last bracket to finish up with the 2 games here. Gamecocks open the game on a 10-0 run and hoping to keep The Sooners under their thumb. They outscored the Sooners 23-13 in the first quarter, outscored them 24-15 in the second quarter. As we said, the Sooners heated up in that third quarter, and both teams traded 21 points. On the floor to start the fourth quarter for the Gamecocks. Excuse me. It'll be Maddie McDaniel, Agat Makir, Tania Latson, Joyce Edwards, and Medina Okat. Oklahoma ball to start things off, and we're underway. They're moving left to right here in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes to decide who's headed to the Elite Eight. Beers hands it off to Verhulst up top. Bounce pass to the right to Williams. Feed it inside. Going to get a foul on Medina Okat. That'll be her third. Reagan Beers stumbled. So Medina gets the first foul of the quarter. They'll bring it in baseline left side. Well, the Sooners, they lob it in to Beers. Edwards takes her on the switch. Kick it up top to Van. She'll try a three. In and out, no good. Good box out and a rebound there by Joyce Edwards. Textbook. Gamecocks have it, leading 68-49. Great positioning there. Here's Latson. Up top to Edwards. Near side, Agat Makir. Swings it right side to Medina. One dribble, handoff to Tania Latson. Shot clock down to 13. Latson, dribble drive, near side Makir. Tries to go baseline. Pulls up, it's in. She's fouled. Count the basket. Chance for a three-point play for Agat Makir. The freshman has played well in this tournament. She's got 7 points today, and she'll be at the line for the and one. It's 70-49. Gotti, as they call her. Just a 68% free throw shooter on the year, the freshman from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Follow-up free throw is good, and the Gamecocks lead 71-49. Just underway here in the fourth. Chavez driving left side, almost dribbled it out of bounds, had to throw it away, and the Gamecocks come out of there with it. Makir finds Maddie McDaniel streaking down the left side, kicks it back out and was knocked away. Good recovery there by Oklahoma as the Gamecocks couldn't quite get the fast break going as Oklahoma caught off defensively. Maddie didn't have a clear path to the basket. She'll bring it in baseline right side. Got to hurry to avoid the 5 count. Goes up top to Big Mama. We're back underway. Hands it off to Tania Latson. Latson looks, gives it up to McDaniel. Near side, just in front of us, Agat Makir. Up top to Joyce. Now right side, Tania Latson. Shot clock down to 12. Latson on the dribble. Up top, Okat. Shot clock under 10. Medina puts it on the floor. Fumbles, recovers. Kicks it back up to Tania Latson. She wants three. Bang! Three-pointer, Tania Latson. She's 3 for 3 from distance. Gives her 21 points. And the Gamecocks lead 74-49. 8:44 to play in the contest. Up top it comes to Williams. Tania Latson having a day. Here's Van. Kicks it up top to Beers. 15 to shoot it. Now Chavez left side. Shot clock down to 10. Chavez guarded by Makir. Shot clock down to 6. Still has it on the floor. Steps back into a three-pointer straight away and buries another one. Chavez with her third three-pointer. She's got 17 points. Makes it 74-52. Gamecocks have hit 9 three-pointers. Oklahoma's hit 6. Both teams for a pretty good percentage. Gamecocks 9 out of 13. Oklahoma 6 out of 17. Right side, Agat Makir. 15 to shoot it. Here's Maddie McDaniel on the right wing. Working around the perimeter near side, Tania Latson. Tries to go baseline. Cut off on the block. Kicks it out up top to Joyce Edwards. She'll take an elbow jumper. Missed it short. Rebound Big Mama. She'll stick it back in for 2. And the Gamecocks lead 76-52. Medina Okat with 7 points. Here comes Chavez the other way. Trying to drive. Loops it up. No good. But they're going to get Gotti for a foul. And that'll send her to a line. It's been very inconsistent on what is a foul and what is not a foul. They've let a lot of heavy stuff go and some of the light stuff not so much. And that'll send Chavez to the line. The freshman has 17 points, but on 7 of 18 shooting. She's a volume shooter. She leads the SEC in free throw shooting at 93% and hits the first one. Outstanding from 15 feet. One more time for Chavez. Second free throw also good, as you would expect. 76-54, the lead is trimmed. 7:39 and counting in the contest. By the way, Tania Latson with 21 points, her 7th 20-point game of the year for the Gamecocks. Here's Makir up top, passes left to Latson. Gamecocks still leading 76-54. Latson drives in the lane, goes underneath to Edwards, and Joyce will finish. Great unselfishness there by Latson, who found Edwards for the finish. Edwards with 8 points all here in the second half. 7:13 to play in the contest. Up top with it, Van. Comes around a screen to her right. Goes all the way underneath the basket, looping around. Shot blocked by Big Mama. Rebound caroms out to Reagan Beers of Oklahoma. Shot clock down to 10. Here's Chavez, guarded by McDaniel. On the right wing. Comes around a screen from Beers. Picked up by Okot. Work it right side to Williams. They get it inside to Beers, who had her shot blocked from behind but they're going to get Maddie for a foul. They had to switch defensively. And 5'9" Maddie McDaniel got locked up with 6'4" Reagan Beers and did the best she could. Didn't allow the layup with the foul. Got a piece of the ball, but got the body as well. And that'll be Beers at the line. She'll have to get the points there. Beers 2 for 4 from the stripe today, has 10 points. First free throw, no good. Only a 60% foul shooter. One more time for Beers, the All-American. Second one, also no good. Rebound, ping-pongs around, and Big Mama Medina Okot's got it for Carolina. She's got 10 rebounds. Here's McKeer the other way, drives. Oh, how is that not a foul? She was bumped by Verhulst, and Oklahoma Sooners get the rebound. My goodness, I don't know what you got to do sometimes to get a foul call today. Here's Verhulst up top, dribbling left. 15 to shoot it. Bounce pass inside, ball knocked away by Big Mama. McKeer comes out of there with it. McKeer leading the break. Going to take it to the rack herself. Puts it up, no good. And there we go. Got a foul on Chavez. That one could have gone either way. Gamecocks get the benefit of the call that time. 6:22 to play. Gamecocks leading 78-54. And they'll be at the line for a pair here. They got McKeer. Drove into the lane. Couldn't get the bucket to drop. McKeer with 8 points today. The freshman has been very good in the NCAA Tournament, 15 points in each of the first 2 rounds. Beers out, and Brooklyn Stewart, the 6'3" freshman, back in for the Sooners. McKeer at the line, 68% on the year, 1 for 1 tonight. First one no good. First miss from the line tonight by the Gamecocks. Now 9 out of 10 from the charity stripe. One more time for Gotti. Second free throw, rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound, saved by Oklahoma. So 2 missed opportunities there for Agat McKeer. Here comes Van the other way for Oklahoma. Drives into the lane. Ball knocked out of her hands by Big Mama. Joyce Edwards comes out of there with it. Long lead pass to Tania Latson. Gets her man in the air, and she is fouled and will go to the line. Good body control by Tania Latson. She'll be at the stripe. 21 points today, her 7th 20-point game of the season. And a timeout taken by Coach Dawn Staley. And that'll send us to a break as well. 6:08 to play. Gamecocks leading Oklahoma 78-54. This women's basketball postseason radio broadcast is proudly presented by the South Carolina Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. Points apiece for Peyton Verhulst and Reagan Beers. Beers on 4 of 8 shooting, and it's just 2 out of 6 from the foul line. See if the Gamecocks can keep doing what they're doing. Opened the game on a 10-0 run and have never trailed in this one. The winner is on to the Elite Eight on Monday to take on the winner of the game to follow us between the number 3 seed TCU and the 10 seed Virginia. Tonight, Latson will be at the line as play resumes. She's got 21 points, as we said, to lead the Gamecocks today. Her 7th 20-point game of the season. Season high was 32 against North Carolina Central. Her career high at Florida State was 40, in case you were wondering. So the senior, making her first Sweet 16 appearance, hits the first free throw. She made it as far as the second round in her years at Florida State. Hits the first free throw. Second one is good. She is a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line, and the Gamecocks lead 80-54. 6 minutes to play here in Sacramento. Van dribbling right side, guarded by Latson in the man-to-man. Tries to go baseline, knifes her way in, and puts it up and in. That was a tough finish by Van. Makes it 80-56. 5:50 to play. Gamecocks will see if they're going to be a little more deliberate here on each possession to wind the clock down. Work it right side to McKeer. Guarded by Chavez. Work it near side, McDaniel. Shot clock at 15. Now passes left to Latson. Latson to Edwards at the free throw line. 15-foot jumper, rattles out, no good. Another rebound, Big Mama. And they're going to get a foul underneath the basket. Medina Okot doing some board work today. That's a dozen rebounds for her. Foul was on Brooklyn Stewart, her second. As Reagan Beers, the All-American, will check back in for Oklahoma. She'll pick up Williams. Non-shooting, Maddie McDaniel will bring it in, baseline right side for the Gamecocks. Gets it into Joyce Edwards on the far side. Edwards, shot clock at 15, puts it on the floor. Going to work around the zone, near side. Tania Latson will spot up for three. Bang! Got it again. Tania Latson, 4 for 4 from three-point range. She's got 26 points, and it's 83-56. A steal on the other end by Joyce Edwards. 3-on-3. Joyce will take it to the rack herself. All kinds of contact. No foul as she's unable to finish through the contact. Oklahoma comes out of there with it. Chavez across the timeline. Passes right side to Van. On the dribble against McKeer. Steps back. Bounce pass inside to Beers. Beers muscles her way in. Shot blocked, but they're going to get Medina Okot for a foul. Looked like Medina had her hands straight up in the air, but didn't get the benefit of the call there. Her fourth foul. Medina's played well tonight against Beers. Has had some hard calls go against her and not getting much help on the other end when Beers is defending her. Beers at the free throw line, 2 for 6 from the stripe today. Hits the first one, gives her 11 points. Tania Latson, 26 points tonight. 4 for 4 from three-point range, 8 for 8 from the free throw line, and she has 5 assists. Have a day, Tania Latson. Both free throws good by Beers, makes it 83-58. We're midway through the fourth quarter, 5 minutes to the Elite Eight. Gamecocks trying to get there for the 6th year in a row. Here's McKeer up top. Working around right side to Latson. Latson on the dribble. Feeds it right side. On the baseline to Joyce. Feeds it inside, and Joyce threw that one away. Was expecting someone to streak down the lane, but no one there. Another turnover gives it back to the Sooners. 10th turnover of the game for the Gamecocks. Or 9th, I should say. Here's Chavez right side for 3. Back rim, that one no good. Joyce pulls down the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Edwards with 9 points, or 9 rebounds to go along with 8 points. Here's Tania Latson up top. Trying to drive into the lane right side in traffic, and she was mugged on the way up, and will go to the line. Tania Latson making the most of her first Sweet 16 appearance. She'll be at the line as Miriam Dowda checks in. She'll pick up Big Mama Medina Okot, who will exit with 7 points and 12 rebounds. Don't know if that's the last we'll see of Big Mama, but a good day for Medina. At the line, Tania Latson. First one is good, and it's 84-58. One more time for Latson. Got it. Ooh, got every bit of iron and fell through the hole. Gamecocks lead 85-58. Latson 10 for 10 from the line. They get it down in the floor in a hurry. Stewart drives in the lane, misses the layup. Beers with the rebound. Her stick back is good. Reagan Beers with the bucket makes it 85-60. Gamecocks lead with 4 minutes to play. Here's McKeer right side. Gamecocks can try to work some clock. Don't want to turn it over, obviously. Near side, Maddie McDaniel. McDaniel, 15 to shoot it. Gets it to Latson just in front of us. Puts it on the floor. Finds Edwards on the baseline. Pull-up jumper. Rims out no good. Dowda with the rebound. Stick back no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line. So Miriam Dowda, the senior, Arkansas native, looking for her first points of the Sweet 16. Fouls on Stewart, her third. So here's Miriam. First free throw, good. Nothing but net. She's got her first points of the Sweet 16, and it's 86-60. Second free throw, yes ma'am, got them both. 87-60. And now Joyce Edwards will come out. Medina Okot back in. Edwards 8 points, 9 rebounds. The two bigs closing in on a double-double, but it's been work to get there. 3:40 to play. All Carolina so far here. Leading big 87-60. Here come the Sooners. Burholst up top to Reagan Beers. Beers dribbling, passing right to Chavez. Chavez spins away to her right, drives in the lane, puts it high off the glass and in. Nice finish that time by Chavez. Makes it 87-62. Chavez with 21 points, and for the freshman, it's another 20-point game, her 12th 20-point game of the season. Working right side to Tania Latson. Latson passes between the rings, 15 to shoot it. Near side, Maddie McDaniel on the wing. Comes around a screen, can't do much with it. Zip it to Medina Okot in the center of the lane. Tries to drive, puts it off the window for 2. Big Mama with 9 points to go along with her 12 boards, and it's 89-62 Carolina. We're under 3 minutes to play. Here's Williams driving across the lane. Cut off, kicks it out to Verhulst. Deep three left side, back-rimmed it no good. Williams catches the rebound on a hard carom and then throws it away. Tania Latson with the steal. What else can she do today? Gamecocks have it leading comfortably 89-62 with 2:40 to play. And a timeout taken by Dawn Staley just to get a sub in, as Isla McDowell will check in for the first time today. The freshman from Cypress Springs, Texas, will pick up Tania Latson. What a game for the senior in her first Sweet 16. Tania Latson exits with 28 points and 5 assists. We get it into McKeer. Just 2:35 away from the 6th straight Elite Eight appearance for the Gamecocks. McDaniel driving the lane. She'll pull it back out. She was halfway down the lane. Could have taken a short jumper. Pulls it back out. Shot clock down to 10. Feed it to Dowda, right elbow. Finds McKeer in the lane. Puts it up and in. I got McKeer in double figures for the 3rd straight game. 10 points. And the Gamecocks lead 91-62. Here come the Sooners the other way. Williams drives the baseline. Puts it off the window for 2. An easy layup there. Makes it 91-64. 2:05 to play. All Carolina today. I did not expect a blowout here today. The odds makers apparently did. But the way Oklahoma played the Gamecocks in Norman earlier this year, and of course, winning in overtime, thought this would be a lot closer. Timeout taken so we can get some subs in. Tornaby's in. Medina Okot out. She'll exit with 9 points, 12 rebounds. Reagan Beers will come out as the senior gets a big hug from Jennie Baranczyk, and we'll get a nice round of applause as the All-American's career will come to an end here in the Sweet 16. McDowell triggers it into McDaniel, and we're underway. Reagan Beers will end her career in the Sweet 16. 14 points, 8 rebounds for her today. Feed it inside to Allie Tornabese, who checked in, spins, shoots, scores! Allie Tornabese with her second bucket. She's got 4, and it's 93-64 Gamecocks. 100 seconds to play. Verhulst drives across the baseline. Reverse layup is good. That was a dandy. 93-66. Verhulst has hit some big shots for them today. She's got 10 points. 1:25 to play. McKeer drives, kicks it up top to Allie. Near side McDowell. McDowell with 15 to shoot it. Up top to Dowda. Now McDaniel right side. Tries to drive. Cut off at the free throw line. Still spinning. Shot clock with 10. Puts an awkward shot up, no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line looking for her first points. McDaniel and McDowell, the only Gamecocks who haven't scored today. All the starters out for Carolina. The second unit is in. Peyton Verhulst comes out and gets her curtain call, the 5th-year senior. And she will end her career with 12 points here in the Sweet 16. Maddie McDaniel hits the first free throw for her first points. The sophomore, 73% on the season, makes it 94-66. Maddie missed the second one, went in and out, no good. Rebound to Oklahoma. 94-66 Gamecocks with 1:05 to play. Here's Sahara Williams, drives across the baseline, and they're going to call a bumping foul on Miriam Dowda. They've let a lot less go today, but that'll send Oklahoma to the free throw line as Dowda collects her first foul. Gamecocks never trailed, opened the game on a 10-0 run, and have never looked back. Sahara Williams at the line, hits the first one, 71% foul shooter. Gives her 7 points here tonight. Make it 8. And second free throw is also good. She's got 9. 94-68 Gamecocks. Perhaps the last time the Gamecocks will shoot it. Minute to play here. All Carolina here today. Allie Tornabese gets it off to McDowell, the only Gamecock who hasn't scored today. 18 to shoot it. Near side McDaniel. McDaniel, top of the circle, passes left to McKeer. Feeds it down low, ball knocked around, kicked around, and Oklahoma comes out of there with it on the turnover. 40 seconds to play. Van feeds Chavez. The freshman steps back into a 3, partially blocked. And they try to save it from going out of bounds, but kick it right to Maddie McDaniel. McDaniel across the timeline, trying to avoid the turnover. About a 1-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, but the Gamecocks aren't even going to shoot it. Coach Staley, wagging her head, said, don't shoot it. They'll just take the turnover. Gamecock fans on their feet here in Sacramento as they can smell it. South Carolina is on their way to the Elite Eight. They'll have to take the turnover here on the shot clock violation. McDaniel will let it dribble down to 2 seconds, 1 second. They'll take the turnover, and Oklahoma will have it, and they can dribble out the clock. Gamecocks, a wire-to-wire win over 10th-ranked Oklahoma. South Carolina is into the Elite Eight for the 6th year in a row as they knock out the Oklahoma Sooners 94-68. The Gamecocks dance on to the Elite Eight here in Sacramento. We'll take a timeout and start our wrap-up after this. You're listening to South Carolina Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network from there. Back in Sacramento, Gamecocks are dancing on to the Elite Eight. They knock off 10th-ranked and 4th-seeded Oklahoma today. Here in the Sweet 16, 94-68 with the win. The Gamecocks are in the Elite Eight for the 6th year in a row. Gamecocks never trailed, opened the game on a 10-0 run, and never looked back. Let's take a look at the final numbers as we welcome you into the post-game locker room report driven by Jim Hudson Automotive. Gamecocks shot 51% from the floor for the game, 34 out of 67, a ridiculous 71.4% from three-point range. Carolina hit 10 out of 14 from the perimeter and 16 out of 19 from the free throw line for 84.2%. Let's save some of that for Monday. For Oklahoma, they hit 39.4% from the floor, 26 out of 66, just 6 out of 20 from three-point range for 30%, 10 out of 15 from the free throw line for 67%. Gamecocks out-rebounded the Sooners 39-36.
The South Carolina team is focused. You can see that. And one of their leaders, Raven Johnson, is with Chris.
Raven, congratulations. You had a great game, but I want to get to Tanaya first because she set the tone from the get-go. What's it like to watch a fellow senior have such a big night in this kind of elimination stage?
That's a Tanaya lesson I know. I mean, if she do that every night, I don't see nobody stopping us. I think she just got to get comfortable in her skin. I know this is her first Sweet 16. I'm glad she got in her groove today. So
a fantastic effort by you today as well. You're 18-2 in NCAA games. What's it like to play with the pressure on your shoulders, and why do you play so well in these moments?
God, honestly, all glory to God. I wouldn't be here without him. And the work I put in over the summer, I just had so much confidence and I trusted myself.
Did Dawn Staley manifest it by wearing your shirt today? She had you on her chest.
You can say that, yeah.
Good deal. We'll see you in a couple days. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Raven Johnson is locked in. She is focused on taking another step towards winning a national championship. In South Carolina, they looked like a team that could win a championship. A 94-68 win in the Sweet 16 makes South Carolina elite. We will decide their opponent coming up. Virginia and TCU on the way. But for now, let's get you to the studio with Kelsey, Muffin, and Megan.